as a woman and as an attorney at law, and given all the experience you've had, what do you envision for Sri Lanka?
I would say corruption-free society. I would like to see a corruption-free society. I think if that is taken into the equation, most of our issues will be sorted out, most of the inequalities will be sorted out. And I think Sri Lankans are a hardworking, innovative society. So if that part is sorted out, I think most of our issues can be sorted out. And we must not only think of what's going to happen today or tomorrow, we must always think of the next generation to come. We must have a generation that will look back and say our forefathers have done a lot for us.
It is empowering to see women take on roles of leadership. Today, joining me in conversations with Alanki will be another trailblazer, another power woman. She has an illustrious career. She's an attorney at law, a member of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, and she was also the former deputy chairperson of Sampath Bank. Joining me in conversations today would be President's Counsel, Mrs. Saumya Amarasekera. Welcome.
Thank you.
As we begin this conversation, I thought we'd focus on many things relating to your profession. However, first things first, how long have you been in the legal profession and how has this journey been so far?
So I've been in this profession for nearly 35 years. And the journey began, of course, at law college. But prior to that, even from my days in school, I always wanted to do law. My father was a lawyer. And I used to do debating in school. And I found that I was quite good at it. So I had a career choice at one point between law and medicine. My mother is a doctor, so she was keen for me to do medicine. And of course, it's considered a noble profession. But as time went on, I thought if I'm a lawyer, I can be more of a service than doctor because I thought my talents were more in that direction. So by the time I came to the O-level class, I knew for sure that I wanted to be a lawyer.
And how has this journey been so far? Any challenges that you've had to face and any lessons learned?
I can't say I had challenges in a exceptional way. Like everybody else, you go to law college and then once you pass out only you realize the amount of work involved and the dedication that is required. But I always had a passion for law and especially to be a counsel, to practice as a counsel. So for me, there was no question of looking in any other direction. It was a lot of hard work, long hours and a lot of studying involved. So I was quite happy to do it. And I didn't expect for favors. I was willing to put in the hard yards. So that's where this journey has taken me.
Right. And as a woman trailblazer and as an attorney, do you feel that enough women are in key positions in their respective fields?
I can't speak for all the professions. But I know the doctors. There are many females who have reached the top of the career in that position. Law is lagging behind a little bit, but I think now we are catching up. I remember the time we took oaths as lawyers, there were no females either in the Court of Appeal or in the Supreme Court. But that has been remedied some time back and we've even had female Chief Justices. So things have changed. And even in the judiciary, at the time we took oaths, there were only a few female judges. Now I would say there are quite a few ladies. And same for the profession. Originally it was dominated by men, but now the instructing field, I think majority of them I think are female, at least in Colombo. Only in the counseling section, there are still not enough females. So I think that is something, nothing to do with discrimination or anything. Sometimes I think it's a career choice made by a lot of females. Now even in the Attorney General's department, there have been female Attorney Generals, female Solicitor Generals, and quite a few really smart ladies in that department as well.
Right. If I think this is something we ought to talk about. There are many laws delays in Sri Lanka, and this affects many victims of crimes, especially children. What do you propose needs to be done to change this so that justice won't be delayed?
So actually, I really don't want to comment about the criminal side because I have never done criminal law. I'm not
Right.
a criminal lawyer. But in the civil side, we come across this. I mean, there are people, for instances, in divorce cases.
Yes.
They are in courts for a long time. By the time they obtain their divorce, they are old. They can't even think of remarrying. Then there are custody matters, where by the time the custody battle is sorted out, the children are not minors
Indeed.
anymore. Then you get the usual land cases where you are trying to eject a trespasser. Now, just today I had a client, she's been in court for 48 years. So those are like some of the exceptional cases. Normally it doesn't get delayed.
That's almost all her life.
Yes, I have another case about 2 years ago. The judge said it has completed half a century. So I would have been a baby when that case was filed. So especially in partition cases. Then you get rent and ejectment cases where you're trying to eject a tenant. You can't eject them for 5, 6 years, sometimes even 10, 15 years. Then money recovery cases where you have given money on loans and you try to recover, you can't. They take such a long time. So the commercial institutes lose out a lot. So those laws delays are there in every field. So I know about the civil field because we are in it. And with each government that comes, the lawyers, judges, everybody tries their best. But I think it's a problem not only in Sri Lanka. It is there world over. So they have amended the statutes to make things faster. But somehow or the other, it hasn't still solved the problem.
Moving on to another question. It's very important, especially at this juncture, that those in the legal field uphold the rule of law. What part do you think the legal field plays in upholding the rule of law in Sri Lanka?
You mean as legal professionals?
Yes.
I think we do our part.
Yeah.
But it's to uphold the law, it's just not one-sided.
Yeah,
The whole
indeed.
society has to be involved. So I think the administration can be a lot better. Efficiency can be improved.
Right.
So I think in any field, quite a few of the issues are, I think, due to administrative functions. And at the moment, you can see from all these aragalayas and all, people have a huge issue about corruption. So I think, now we come across in our field of work, like somebody wants to get a document from a government department or something. Nothing happens unless they bribe someone. Somebody wants to get a building plan or something approved. Nothing moves till you bribe everyone. Then people who are in the construction industry, now I think for a condominium or something, you need 30 odd approvals. So at each level, they face difficulties. If you want to start a hotel, they need similar approvals from the local government authorities, Pradeshia Sabhas, government sector. So all these things take a long time. And to move anything, you have to either influence someone or use some other kind of inducement. So all these things contribute
That is where the system needs to change.
System needs to change. So I don't know how it can be done. And I think the system can certainly be more efficient. I mean, things can be computerized. But of course, sometimes I think some of these new proposals can be sabotaged from within. You know, the people who don't want those things to come in, and things certainly can be made transparent.
Yeah.
So even with regard to loss delays, the earlier question you asked, I think new technology can play a key role in all these things. So I think lawyers, to be fair by them, are always vigilant. We have to represent a client. So whoever our client is, we have to do a duty by them. And to that extent, I think the lawyers are doing their part. The judges certainly, they have no rest. Every day if you go to the Supreme Court, there are hundreds of fundamental rights cases. Then even in other jurisdictions, for any issue, you can go to courts. But of course, the system sometimes frustrates the people due to the delay and the cost involved.
Right, absolutely.
So,
Given the importance of law, do you think law should be made compulsory as a subject in school?
I don't think so. Just from a student's point of view, sometime back, I remember when my daughter was in school, I looked at the syllabus. You know, it's cramped with so many things. Children have no life. You know, there are so
Right.
many subjects, like say the sciences, they have to learn the maths, the arts, so many things they need to learn. So I don't think we should burden the children anymore. I think they have enough. They need a childhood as it is. I think a lot of Sri Lankan children miss out on having fun and games and sports and music in their life because of the maybe the current syllabus or the education system in Sri Lanka. But law is actually common sense.
Indeed.
Yes, so I think with today's technology, children can go and check out anything online.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to introduce it as a subject.
As a subject.
Yes.
Could
But
you?
I think ethics might be a better thing to introduce.
Right.
Today I find a lot of people lack ethics. So what is morally right, wrong, what it's not that you don't know, maybe not enough emphasis is placed on things. So ethics in some way might be a better thing than law.
Right. Could you tell us about your time at Sampath Bank as deputy chairperson until you retired in 2020?
So I first joined as a director, and it was very illuminating because all my life I had been involved with law,
Yes.
and especially court work. So there's a regime, you know, we go to court, we come back, we have consultations, we meet clients, we prepare documents, you go on, and every day, day in, day out, the people we meet are lawyers, judges, instructing attorneys, clients, you know, people with issues, and every day we are handling litigation, which is sort of
Right.
confrontational. So I was meeting a lot of people with different backgrounds, and it was so amazing to see their competence and the dedication they have towards their field and their expertise in that. And I actually learned a lot from being on the Sampath Bank, and the dedication especially of the management and the contribution the other directors brought in. So different people come from different fields. Some are from finance, some are from banking backgrounds, some are marketing. So it was a very interesting group of people. And you finally realize very often we are very quick to criticize managements, organizations, the amount of work that goes behind the scene. And what these people have to put in, the predictions they have to make, it's totally different from a practice of a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know, so to that extent, I learned a lot. And I mean, you get challenges, and it's nice to see how they sort it out as a group. You know, without now in our case, any problem we have to go before a judge to sort out.
Yes.
Here a group of people get together, they discuss, different people have different ideas. And it was a very illuminating experience.
Moving on to the next question. As a woman and as an attorney at law, do you feel that should more women engage in politics and be involved in the lawmaking process?
It's good if we men engage in politics a little bit more, but I think it's a personal choice. I don't think Sri Lanka especially has any prejudice against women. I mean, we produced the first female prime minister in the world. We've had female presidents, and they've all dedicated women, set out very good examples, and we've had prominent ministers, MPs who have been women. But I think it takes a lot of time, effort, and it's a special set of skills, I think, to be a politician. Not everyone can do that.
Right.
And I think Sri Lankans actually expect too much from our politicians. You know, they are just not expected to make law, but they are expected to attend from the village funeral to the wedding to the, all kinds of social engagements. Then people are in their personal difficulties, they expect favors. And our electoral system is not easy on any person. Even on a man, it's a challenge. So I think it's a personal choice. I don't think the electorate has ever knocked off a person on the basis it's a female. So, but it's a special skill you need, I think, to get the votes. But if they are there, I don't see why a woman can't make the same contribution that a man makes.
Indeed. What is your message to those wishing to join the legal profession?
It's a very good source of income if you're really into that. I mean, everybody wants to make a living. I think if you're willing to put in the hard yards, you can do it, but it's not a place where you can hope to build up a career in a day. It takes a lot of time and energy and dedication. So, a lot of people today, I find, especially the younger generation, I'm not criticizing them, I have a young daughter too, they want to become the head of the organization in a couple of years. Whereas in the legal profession, you are entrusted with other people's wealth problems, and those are not a thing you can sort in a day or two. So that takes a lot of experience. So you must have the staying power and the patience, and no two questions about it, hard work. Also, you must also be conscious that sometimes there are situations which might not be in your interest financially, but it is in the interest of the client sometimes to advise them not to litigate or to settle a problem, which I find sometimes today's people don't do with the clients. Sometimes some issues can be sorted out. Some issues you shouldn't be going to court, but if people are properly advised, I think some of those issues can be solved. But anyway, whoever who comes to the profession, I think you must have a passion for that job.
Indeed. Moving on to the final question, as a woman and as an attorney at law, and given all the experience you've had, what do you envision for Sri Lanka?
I would say corruption-free society. I would like to see a corruption-free society. I think if that is taken into the equation, most of our issues will be sorted out, most of the inequalities will be sorted out. And I think Sri Lankans are a hardworking, innovative society. So if that part is sorted out, I think most of our issues can be sorted out. And we must not only think of what's going to happen today or tomorrow, we must always think of the next generation to come. We must have a generation that will look back and say our forefathers have done a lot for us. Because of them, we are here today. So I think if those things can be done, we have a good future in this country.
All right. Thank you very much. It was indeed wonderful having this conversation with you. Is there any message you'd like to share with the audience?
No, just do whatever you like. Be happy in the workplace that you are. And don't restrict yourself to your degree or your background. Just go out and do what you think is right and what you would enjoy in life.
That's nice. Thank you very much for your time and for this conversation. Like I said, it's always very nice to be in conversation with an empowered woman who can inspire many women out there. Thank you everyone for watching. If you do like the content on my YouTube channel, you can always subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. So I'll be back with a new video. Until then, stay safe, take care, and God bless.